Hi, everyone. Welcome to the LFG Life. Peter PJ Jensen here, and I've got a segment today, an episode that's going to blow you away. I know when I turned 50, I was like, gosh, is it over? But no, it wasn't over for me because at 51, I got sober. I got my act together. So I'm always on this quest to find out people or find people that are on the same journey that I started when I turned 50. Because when I turned 50, things changed for me. Physically, they changed. I got in the best shape of my life. Mentally, spiritually, I got totally my life changed because of me putting down the bottle. And so when I started the LFG Life, the podcast, it was seeking out individuals, not only that have been through recovery, but also have had success in recovery, as well as doing a body transformation. And this gem that I found, Emilie Carrasquel, who was a guest on the line, I found her just kind of scrolling through, was blown away by her message that she had just turned 50. Well, I think it was this is 50. And I was like, wow. I mean, that's amazing. And then when I started to understand your story a little bit and found out the struggles that you had gone through, certainly the transformation of losing over 100 pounds. But first of all, welcome to the LFG Life. Emily, so good to have you on the show.
Thank you so much.
So tell me, who are you?
Who am I? I'm a mom. I'm
McDonald's mom.
absolutely McDonald's mom with my son. Yeah. I'm a sports mom. I travel, do sports. I'm a coach. I'm I don't want to say I'm an addict in recovery because I don't really call myself that anymore, but I guess I could say maybe I'm a recovery warrior. I've been sober for this will be like 11 years.
Well, you're showing off now. I got seven. I think I'm bad. Let's get into that real quick because I want to talk about that because that's something that I'm working on myself. Because I think in our world of recovery, you're labeled or we label ourselves almost where it's almost like a badge of honor, right? That we're a recovering alcoholic or an addict. As I get older and more mature through the process, I find myself shying away from saying that too, like calling myself an addict or a recovering. I like what you said, recovering warrior.
Yeah.
Yeah, so and again, another affirmation. Obviously, you're successful in life and in the gym, and positive affirmations are huge. In anything we do to be successful. So, referring to yourself as a recovering warrior, I like that. What do you feel like that I'm on point there as far as do we get labeled or are we labeling ourselves? It's society, or is it just actually part of the journey?
Absolutely. I just think it's part of the journey in recovery because you get in recovery and you try meetings or whatever it is you do, but it always starts with I'm here and I'm an addict, or I'm an addict in recovery, or it's just something that you pick up and you say, until I think one time I was like, well, that just doesn't really feel like who I am anymore. It doesn't match who I am anymore. I don't want to forget it. I don't want to leave that behind and pretend like it never happened because it's a big part of who I am.
Sure.
It's just not all of me anymore. It's just something that changed me and probably a lot for the better.
Yeah, it's funny because when I first started, I did not so traditional. I was in family did intervention, went to a rehab, did the 90 meetings in 90 days, and stayed plugged in. But I was very conscious of the fact about watching the other people that were in the rooms that they were, and I'm going to get shit for this. It's just the bottom line. They were almost addicted to the recovery as they were to their abuse, right? And so I
Yeah.
was like, gosh, if I'm ever going to be in some type of relationship with somebody that's not on the recovery standpoint, and I'm going to like two, three, four meetings a week, or sometimes some people go a day, what kind of life is that for a partnership, right? To be in a relationship. And so I've tailored my recovery into doing whatever I need to do not to drink, which I don't even think about drinking anymore. It's so in the past for me. Like I just had another interview earlier where I was talking about I don't do one day at a time. I do like a year clip. I just go, I'm going to do another year. I'm going to do
Yeah.
another year. I'm gonna do another year. Yeah, I think it's something that I certainly don't forget for sure, but it's something that I kind of just, tailor make the stuff that works for me, and then I move forward with it, and I think that that's a part of AA, or, well, sorry, a part of sobriety that doesn't get enough, maybe exposure that, there's different things for different folks as opposed to just a baseline. You agree with that?
Absolutely, 100%. Yeah, I mean, every year looks different as far as like how I think about it. I remember just making it to that first year mark. I felt like it was a day at a time, then a month at a time.
Yeah.
And then yeah, I'm the same. It's like, oh, another year down, but I don't really think about that, but I also a lot of people whoever is successful or maybe working out every day or keeping promises to themselves, it's it's just part of being better every day. So it's not really anything about addiction or recovery. It's just part of getting up, keeping promises to yourself,
Yeah.
doing the best you can every day. And yeah, so I think a lot of people are doing it. And if you're doing it in recovery, you'll stay sober too.
So I don't know if this is a silly question, but you've been sober for 11 years. Did you become a licensed addiction counselor during the 11 years of sobriety, or was that before it?
I actually did. So as soon as I got out of treatment, I went back to school, got my master's in substance use disorder counseling, and then went right back and worked inside of a treatment center. Um, it didn't last long. I don't even know. I think I did it for like a year.
Why? What
But it
happened?
I had still had little kids, and it was really intense. It was heavy for me. I felt like I might
Yeah.
not take care of myself good enough, or it just wasn't what I needed. And I was like, shoot, I just got to take care of myself at least for this little bit. Maybe later I can do this, but yeah,
To
it
me,
was
that
a
would
lot.
seem like a double whammy. You're working on yourself, and then you're working on other people on the daily, on the grind, on the, especially the newbies coming in, and you're like, wow, that's heavy. But yeah, I've always been fascinated that the recovery community is governed by the recovery community, meaning that the people that are teaching you how to get cleaner ones so everyone that's normally in recovery in a treatment center or any of the industries, they're all run by people that are in recovery,
Well,
which
100%.
yeah, which is kind of cool. So
Yeah.
let's, I have questions that I'm dying to ask you, but I want to keep on this chronological event or calendar, if you will, of your life. So now you're 11 years sober. When does the transformation start to happen with your physical appearance?
Oh gosh. Okay. So I, s- my whole life, I loved being fit and exercising. I was teaching gym classes in high school.
Really?
As soon as I graduated from high school, I put myself through college teaching aerobics and doing the personal training thing at all the gyms in Phoenix. And then, I found myself, I was just in a really abusive relationship, and it really changed me really fast. And that's when I started using drugs and became addicted. It was just one thing after the other for years. That I would have been the last person I think I probably would have picked out of a huge room full of people.
Yeah, I'm thinking the same thing.
Oh man, yeah. Yeah, it was horrible. It was terrible. I don't need It's such darkness that if you've never been there, I don't think you can really understand it.
No, we all, as we say, I went to prison for tax evasion, and there's a saying in prison about, whether you're down for 10 years or you're down for a year or whatever, everyone walks the same walk, but it's a different walk, right? So we all have that baseline addiction, but it's a different, I hate to say it like this, but in my personal opinion, there's different levels of fucked up, right? And, because
Oh,
yeah, there's some things that are going on in people's lives that you're like, wow, I mean, I thought I was fucked up, but I'm not that, I'm not that,
oh,
you,
absolutely.
you know what I'm saying? And I'm being respectful to the people that are out there still struggling or that have gotten to the rooms because, the anonymous part is obviously sacred. Now, I'm only going by some of these pictures on your Facebook and watching your journey and your storytelling because now it gets really, really interesting about who you were, and then I'm going to use the word ballooned up to, if that's fair.
Yeah, it didn't happen right away. Um, I mean, obviously, I wasn't in really great shape and everything, but there was a point. I did get to a point to where I was ordering all kinds of stuff online. I don't even know what I was taking, and I think my body just really shut down. So, and I lost it. I lost my mind. I don't. I like ended up shaving my head. I was
Yes, I
like,
saw that.
yeah,
Yeah.
I don't like I had a but my body just started. ballooning up. My hair was coming out. It was a mess, but my body just like completely shut down. And so
Is that from the drug use?
yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
And so my sisters kind of, they knew I was really close to dying if I waited another day. So they took me to a place and kept me there, and they had a plan and it worked. They had them keep me there until I started freaking out so they could whatever card me and take me to a mental hospital.
Yeah.
And I stayed in the mental hospital long enough for them to check me off that I just needed to go
Detox.
um, to detox. And so I was in
Yeah.
detox for a while, but and I still kept ballooning up from there. Like it was just like it automatically, my body just completely shut down, and
Is that normal?
um I would say knowing, understanding what I know now about like functional health and how the body works. I think my toxic load was so high,
Yeah.
and it's connected to everything. And so I think my body just literally didn't function anymore. It was the weirdest thing. I would look in the mirror and I didn't recognize who that was.
Yeah.
I
Right.
didn't look in the mirror for probably, I think, it was a good year at least. Maybe if I saw a mirror, I would have to like, because I was like, I found myself in treatment sober, the time you're supposed to learn to love yourself because you hate yourself so much. And I
Yeah.
had to learn to love myself in a completely like
Almost like a
unrecognizable,
different body.
yeah, different body, different, it just wasn't me. And so I would say I love myself maybe 500 times a day, maybe 1,000, all
Oh,
day, all day, all day.
wow.
I was like, I'm going to convince my brain of it because I don't know what else to do. I know you can change your neural pathways. And that's the one thing I held on to. I was like, okay, I've got control over one thing. If I can do that,
Yeah.
I'll do
Well,
this.
you've done a great job. You've done a great job. So when that, so that the positive affirmations again, I love myself. I love myself. So when does the transition start that you've gotten control of your body and you're starting to see it go back to its normal?
Um,
And
it
how
took a
hard was
minute.
that? Like the 100 pounds is a shit ton of weight.
Oh my gosh, it was hard. At first, I had a really hard time because my body hurt all the time. The doctor said I had fibromyalgia, but come to find out now, because I was like, "There's no way. There's something else." But now I know it was autoimmune. But yeah, I just kept going. So I would run 30 seconds, walk 90, run 30, walk 90, and I did that over and over and over until I was
So
running half
intervals, you're doing some
marathons.
interval training.
Yeah, just what I could
Run
because I
30,
couldn't
run 30, walk 90.
run 30 seconds, walk 90. It was all I could do because I was so big and
Yeah.
and out of shape. And I had the stationary bike in my house. I would do that for like hours, but I would just do what I could, and I would be able to do a little bit more and a little bit more. And I just, looking back, I don't know how I never stopped, but I didn't, because I didn't change really fast. I just knew I didn't want to be where I was. And so I was just like, I'll just keep going. I mean, I don't know what else to do.
Well, I can tell you like what do you know what body dysmorphia is?
Yeah.
Yeah, so I don't know if I clinically have it. I think I diagnosed myself, and like my biggest fear, when I went into prison, I was 26% body fat. Came out at 9. I train every day. I play pickleball 3 or 4 hours a day. I'm in the best shape of my life, and my biggest fear is to lose any type of edge. So like it's like it's absolutely it's kind of like borderline obsessive because when I meet somebody, which by the way, I've never met anybody that lost 100 pounds or they even attempted to do it. But
Well,
my thing that I teach people that I help, and I'm not a personal trainer. I don't coach for money. I just help my friends that, it's easier to stay in shape than it is to get in shape. It's easier
yeah.
to get in shape. I'm sorry, stay in shape than because once you're in shape and you've done all the work, then it's just about maintenance, eating the right thing, and you're just doing your thing. So now we've pre-addiction, you blowed up, you're crazy. Now you've lost this. Now you're in your 40s, right? I'm just following the timeline. You're
Yeah.
in your 40s and you're slowly getting back to baseline Emily physically. But could you ever do you think you look better now? I haven't seen any pictures prior to the addiction and the heavy and the bald pictures. Um, are you in better shape now, you think, than you were back in your 30s?
Oh,
Because I know
absolutely.
I am. Yeah, you are, right?
Absolutely. Yeah. Yeah. I feel better than I ever have. And I feel like everything's way better. I wouldn't have imagined it before. But when I had to try so many things because not the just the calories in, calories out and working
Yeah.
out didn't necessarily work. So I would research and find different things and I kept trying. And then I made it. I made like a bucket list like goal thing. I was like, I'm gonna do a bodybuilding show at 45 and I'll do it. I don't care. And I had a coach and he told me there's no way you're gonna make it to that stage. And I was like, watch me, I'll do it. And I did.
Who's
Um
that guy? Let's go. What's he doing now? That coach.
yeah. Yeah. And I just yeah, so I did like yeah, I kept just learning and learning and changing and it was a very slow process. But I'm glad it was because that's how I learned so much, and that's why I am the way I am now.
Absolutely. Do you do any hormone replacement therapy?
I do. That was one of the things I figured out on my own when I was like, okay, something else needs to like I need to find something, and I had read up on it or heard about it somewhere. So I started doing it about 7 years ago. I actually started doing hormone therapy and peptides 7 years ago.
First of all, I appreciate your transparency, which is awesome because I've been doing it for a long time. I tell people the only reason why you're not doing it is A, you don't know about it, and two, you don't think you can afford it. Because back when you started 7, 8 years ago, it was a little bit more expensive than it is today.
Yeah.
But what, if you don't mind me asking, what's your baseline? What do you use?
I use testosterone and progesterone, which
Uh-huh.
I are the two that I've used for a long, long time. It took a minute. So, like, I had been to different hormone doctors and they do like different levels. So, I did like I've done the pellet, I
Yeah,
now the way I do it is I do injections, but very small, like a very small dose, like
like
throughout the
microdosing,
week. What's that?
like microdosing.
Yeah, like microdosing like 3 times a week instead of once a week.
Yeah. Why do you what's your philosophy on that? I'm interested because I have a philosophy on it myself.
My philosophy is it's just less like my body responds better instead of having to bump all at once, just a little bit, so it can just
So
stay steady. So my level stays steady.
right.
It works really, really well for me.
Yeah, that's what I that's what I 100% that's what I do because if you I don't want to say names or celebrities, but there's certain individuals that I follow that if you watch them, they're steady across the board. They're never you could tell if they're at the top of a cycle or they're you know what I mean. They're leveled off, and the only way to do that is to microdose because levels go up, levels go down, and my philosophy is to be 100 100, which is be 100% of the time or be 100% 100% of the time in all that we do. So in order to do, I think microdosing is huge because your levels stay high, right? So if you're driving your car and then you go 10 miles, yeah, you're going to deplete the gas tank a little bit. So if you can keep it up higher and higher, I think it's the X factor, if you will, especially when you get to be our age. I love it. I love everything about it. The new peptides that are coming out. I still think that unfortunately, if you talk into your phone and you look at one reel or like something, then you're going to get this algorithm of all kinds but there's so many things out there. So to hear you that you have a baseline, like I have a baseline that I stick to, which is testosterone, Somorelin, human growth hormone, and I stack with a little creatine. And so
Mhm.
you do creatine at all?
I do creatine. Yeah, same. Testosterone.
Yeah.
Yeah. And which other one did you say?
Well, testosterone, HGH, which is the Somorelin. I don't do the peptide, I do the injectable and the creatine. And there's one that I'm testing right now. It's called SLUPP or PPSLU slew something. It's like
Yeah.
yeah, which is it right now. The early indications are just absolutely amazing. What it does, it mimics your body's exercising when it's not.
Yeah.
So when you're sleeping, you can take it, and it's like your body thinks it's running a marathon, but you don't wake up tired. It's like crazy, right?
That's wild. Yeah. I
Yeah.
just actually started that one 2 weeks ago. So we're
Did
on the
it,
same
is it
page.
called slew? Is it slew PPU or whatever? I think never.
SLUPP.
Yeah, that's what it is. Got
Yeah.
it. What's your diet like? What are you doing for food?
I'm trying to get a lot of food in. So I eat like 2,100 calories on training days. Non-training days, I'm at like 1,800. But
You count
protein,
'em?
what's that?
You count your calories?
I do. I try to either log it or, I mean, not every single day. It's pretty easy for me because I've done it for so long.
Yeah.
That is pretty easy for me. I know when I've got like 120 grams of protein in. I mean, I didn't always. I'm trying to put muscle back on because my autoimmune came back pretty strong and I couldn't work out anymore about like 6 months ago. So I did a lot of fasting, a lot of peptides for like cellular health, and
Yeah.
finally got back to where I can work out again. And so now I'm trying to put some muscle back on again because I did lose some.
You follow any biohackers like Gary Brecka?
I do. I do. And I feel like, so I have mentors that I feel are like pretty good biohackers too. My coach is he's pretty dang good. He's pretty crazy with peptides as far as his knowledge with it too. And yeah, I think they're incredible. The things that we have access to now is
Yeah.
like next level.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
I can see that smile on your face. You have the same smile I do. Yeah, I think
Yeah.
it's great, especially when you can put the nutrition behind it and the work ethic. It's like it's unbelievable. So what's next for you? What's the next chapter in your life?
You know what? I right now I'm really focused on longevity. So right now I'm building my own company, which has been going really, really good. So I
Tell
coach
us
a lot
about
of
that.
women.
So
What's that?
tell us about that.
So I went back to my original roots of coaching after I did some bodybuilding shows. So that's been about 5 years ago. And I started noticing that women would come in and I was like, oh my gosh, it wasn't only me. These women are coming in, they're not changing. And I was like, I can't watch them go through what I went through with this frustration. Like my coach thought I was cheating and I wasn't. I never like I'm a pretty good rule follower. Like as far as like you give me a plan, I'll do it.
Yeah.
So I saw these women coming in and being so disappointed. And I was like, okay, there's a lot more to it. I know there is. So I hired a coach that I knew was into functional medicine. And then he showed me the path to get into it. So now I've got my functional practitioner certification. And so I do functional health slash coaching. So what I do is get your body optimal so it'll respond to calories in, calories out, training, help women through perimenopause, because I did lose all of my weight through all of that, and still I'm in that phase, which is a whole nother thing as
But
well.
you piggybacked HRT on there, correct?
Oh, absolutely. I don't know what I have done without it. I don't know how
Well,
people
a lot
did.
of women, it seems to be the topic right now. A lot of women don't know, A, they don't have access to that, and B, the importance of
True.
it. You're fighting a fight you can't win, but and then if you up the levels, right, for lack of a better analogy, then you're going to be, in the driver's seat.
Absolutely. So in my coaching program, I actually have a concierge HRT clinic so all my clients can get on it.
Great.
So I get their bodies like
Which
ready
makes
for
you look like a hero, by the way.
it.
It
Yeah,
does. I mean,
I love
yeah.
it.
No, it's 100. I mean, that's being 100, 100%, 100% of the time. So, one of the things I did some research on you. So, obviously, when we go into recovery, if you look at those 12 steps, it's gonna cure you, right? And then you follow. You're hanging on everyone's word, especially someone that has some time under their belt, right? And
Yeah,
so the same thing you apply with coaching. Like, why, like that's what I love about how you're approaching it. That here's my plan. I'm going to customize my plan for you. But if you follow it, keyword, if,
yeah.
if, if you
If
follow, um, and that's a really, I love the way you tied it in, the importance of a game plan.
Absolutely. That's and I love working with people because I can understand where how they're thinking, what they're going through, just because I've been through all of the same things. So
Yeah.
I know what it's like. And yeah, if someone comes to me, I will give them the plan and then I will really, really try to help them challenge their beliefs. I think a lot of people don't follow it because they don't believe they can. And so I think they just get in their own way.
Yeah, true,
So
true
I
that.
also have them do like the morning routine with like the mental work. Like, like, okay, give me a list of all your beliefs. And they get them by like telling me what all their thoughts are during the day. And then we write the opposite. I'm so happy and grateful now that, and then the opposite of that, and have them do it over and over in the morning. And you just watch people like literally change what they deep down like have like believed probably since they were really young. I mean, I used to believe 100% I had terrible genetics and I was not going to lose that weight. I just wasn't going to stop anyway. But I
Right.
did really believe that.
Well, unfortunately, we believe a lot, and sometimes the people that are closest to us give us the worst advice.
Oh, absolutely.
Right. So, um, yeah, this is amazing. So, a couple more questions and we'll wrap up. So, how many clients do you have virtually? Do you do a lot of virtual work?
Yeah, mine is all, yeah, it's all virtual. So I have about 50 right now.
Nice, nice. What we'll do is when we do drop this episode, we'll put all your information, your links in, so people can contact you. I've been a fan for a short time, but what I've seen, I am completely blown away because I know what it takes to get legs like that. I know what it takes to get the whole overall look. And what I love about people that are like-minded individuals like myself and like you and what you've been through, man, your light, Emily, is shining so bright, and it's just a pleasure to have you on the show and to see that you're changing lives. Good stuff. That's the LFG life, my friend.
Oh my gosh, thank you so much. I
Well, have
really
a
appreciate it.
fantastic day. And folks, I will tell you this, we will continue to bring you special guests, but I don't think you'll see a better story than Emily's story. Losing 100 pounds, battling addiction. She is a recovery warrior. She's just a badass all the way around. More to come on LFG Life. Let's go be 100, 100. Hey, PJ here. If you like that episode that you just checked out, do me a favor, smash that like button. Share it with someone that you know and love. Let's make this the biggest channel, the biggest movement on the planet. Let's go.